Welcome to Chemistry 145. You should recognize my voice because I should also be your instructor for Chemistry 140. Chemistry 145, or General College Chemistry Lab. I need to change that in the syllabus there, don't I? General College Chemistry Lab. And this is an online lab that you all are taking. And let me get the ball rolling with a couple basics. First of all, my name is Dr. Kelly. Because this is an online lab, an online location, all our interaction needs to be, guess what? Online. I am available via the question and help message board, and you should have seen an explanation of how that question and help message board works in the lecture portion of the course, but I've reposted a link to the question help message board below. But that really is truly the best way to contact me. Even if you're sending me an email, take the time to post a message there. Let me be really clear here. I don't do phones. Don't do them. Wouldn't be prove it. Not going to happen. The reason is there's nothing I can do to help you over the phone, right? I can't see what you're seeing over the phone. I can't get you to see what I'm seeing. So phone contact doesn't really work. Plus, I am rarely actually in my office due to my other responsibilities. So the web is really the only way to really contact me. Course descriptions. This reinforces concepts found in Chemistry 140. That means you need to stay on top of your lecture section in order to really understand and appreciate what's going on in this lab. Course competencies. Materials. Okay, real important. You have to have a pair of chemical splash goggles. They should have been included with your lab kit. You should also have a cheap $10, $12 scientific calculator. A periodic table will also prove useful. There was one given to you in your lecture class as part of the syllabus, I believe. Then, here's the kicker. You have to have the Carolina Chemistry Kit. It is required. The only way you can get it is through the ECTC bookstore. Let me show you how to do that. You're going to go to the web browser, and one of the great things is they've redesigned those KCTCS web pages. So now everybody sees something pretty similar, right? You're going to see different people depending on your college, but you're basically going to be seeing this. So you're going to click the current student link. Current student link is going to take you to a bunch of things. And one of these things is going to be the bookstore. I believe, see, like these pictures aren't even specific to my college. I think these pictures are the same for all of you, with just different words, maybe different orders. But you're going to click the thing that says bookstore. The bookstore interface is going to look pretty much the same. Again, under the bookstore, your current student. Try that again. Bookstore. Here's my bookstore. Here we are. KCTS Distance Learning Bookstore. So now you're under KCTCS Distance Learning Bookstore, KCTCS Online. So now your textbook. Find a textbook. You should be able to do it through KCTCS Online. Choose the correct term, summer, spring, winter, fall. All you have to do is call. Oh, sorry. Choose your correct term, then choose the department, and it's going to be chemistry, CHE. I don't think anything's being taught under a different prefix for chemistry, but CHE. We're in course 145, and choose the right section. Sections taught by me will always be 25Z something. The number after the Z may be different, but I'm always going to be 25Z. All these others are different colleges. I'm always 25Z something. In this case, 25Z1. Find course materials. And here's where things get fun. First, you have to choose this chemistry kit. It's mandatory. It's not optional. So you're going to buy it from the bookstore. Once you buy it from the bookstore, what you're actually buying is you're buying a code. So you buy that code, the bookstore sends you the code. You then have to go to Carolina Biological with that code, punch the code into their website, and they send you the lab kit. So you do not want to wait to do this. You need to get it done, because I'm realistic here. I figure it may be 2 weeks, maybe even 2.5 weeks before you get the kit if you haven't already ordered it. So please don't wait too long to get that kit, or else it'll really set you behind. That being said, I am really lax on the due dates for things, with a few exceptions, for the first part of the semester. After that, I begin to get a little bit grumpier. But because of that delay, I'm realistic in terms of turnaround time here. So that's your lab kit. Help. The only real way to get help from me is through that question help message board. That is really the best way to contact me. That's really the only way to contact me that's reliable. If you send me an email, make sure you post a message that says, hey, I sent you an email. Right? The question help message board, anytime you have a question involving the labs, post them there, right? That way it facilitates discussion. Somebody else in the class may actually answer the question before I do. But that way everybody has information. The only time you should really be emailing me is if it's something private. For example, you think I graded something of yours wrong, or you need a big extension on an individual lab. I don't give course extensions, let me be clear on that, but you need an extension on an individual lab because something's tragic happened. Those are the only times you should really be emailing me, is if it's personal information, right? Stuff that has to do with the labs, post on the question help message board, right? Just like raising your hand in an actual class. Help everybody out. I try to check that question help message board once a day, Monday through Friday. Let me be very clear, I usually do take weekends off. Let me also be clear, on during the summer, I teach all day labs on Fridays for some of my other online classes, meaning I'm in lab from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and I'm also in lab 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. the following Saturday. So some Fridays over the summer, I will not be available. Now, I try to make it up by checking things on Sunday, but realize those Sundays, I've just spent 24 of the last 48 hours on my feet on a concrete floor running labs. So I'm pretty exhausted there. So just make sure you're aware of that. How to take this. What you're going to do, and I'm going to type up some new directions here. What you're going to do to take this class is you're going to do a series of labs. And what I've done is I've created a schedule for you. And this schedule is available for you if you haven't found it already in the Getting Started section. It's also in the syllabus folder in Blackboard. So if we go to your Blackboard shell real quickly, come on, cooperate with me here. Go to your Blackboard shell. It's going to be, oh, great, wonderful. It's going to be under Getting Started. Come on, help me out here. It's going to be under Getting Started or the syllabus. And this schedule contains everything you need to know about the class, and you're responsible for it, and it's my contract for you. What I have is I have the welcome. I have in this column, I have labs. This column, I have what you're supposed to do for every lab, and we'll walk through this in detail here in a second. And then we have a due date and an emergency date. You're doing right now the welcome portion. You have to watch this welcome lecture. You know that already since you're doing it. You have to take the syllabus quiz. It's also real important that you hit the emergency date for this welcome quiz. If you don't take that welcome quiz by that emergency date, I have to drop you from the class. Now, obviously, we're looking at a second summer by term here. So you're looking at a June date, but you may be taking this later in the year here. That date's really mandatory. You'll notice I've got two dates here. I've got the due date, and that's the date that if you want to follow a nice, easy pacing, if you want the labs to flow with what you're doing in lecture, that's the date that you'll do the lab. Then you have the emergency date. The emergency date is the date after which the lab is subject to a late penalty. You should do the lab on the due date if you want to pass the course in a comfortable fashion. However, I understand life happens. Believe me, I've got 3 kids, right? I understand that you may be planning to go home and work on the lab, and all of a sudden, starting work is 9 p.m. at night, and your daughter suddenly shows up and says, "Hey, I just threw up all over the place." Right. Sorry, that actually happened 2 nights ago. But at any rate, I understand life happens. That's why I give you those flexibility between the due date and the emergency date, right? I used to live in Murray, right? And I had my now wife lived in Radcliffe, right? So I was seeing that Western Kentucky Parkway all the time. And I understand that even if you have a cell phone, your car can break down. You may be in a dead zone, and it may be 5 hours before somebody comes along and helps you. I understand life happens. That's why there's a due date, and that's why there's an emergency date. The emergency dates are what they sound like. For emergencies, don't treat them like due dates. If you treat them like due dates and you have an emergency, then I'm not going to have a lot of sympathy for you, right? For most of your assignments, I give you around a week's cushion between the date you should do the assignment and the date where that emergency date happens. Now, after your welcome lecture that you're doing right now, you can go ahead and you can do that the safety training, the safety lab. You don't have to have your kit already in order to do the safety lab. The same way for your introduction to graphing. Your introduction to graphing, everything you need is right there, already set up in the course shell, waiting for you. Your measurement and uncertainty, you have to have the kit. So as long as you can get your kit before this date, you're golden. And usually I have this date during the full semester. I have it a good 3 to 4 weeks in. During summer, I'm a little cramped, so I probably have it like 2 weeks in. But even there, I'll give you a little bit of leeway. If you're not starting these labs and turning things in, if you're not working on your measurement and uncertainty lab, really by the first week in July, there's no way you're going to pass the lab in time. You're just not going to have the time, right? But I won't really enforce the late penalties until then. So just be aware that there is a date at which you're in trouble if you don't have your lab kit. but I'm willing to work with you. Matter of fact, I may even create a column here that says you're in trouble if you don't have your lab kit by this date. Yes, but that's why you need to go to that bookstore and order your lab kit today. Now let's go through what it's going to take to do one of these labs. The safety lab's a little bit unusual, so let's go straight away to the graphing lab so you can see what you're going to do every day. All right, let me enter the student preview again so we're looking at the same thing. Okay. All your lab instructions are located under here, labs. And what I've done is I am awesome, I'm on the ball. I've already created a folder for each one of your labs. And in those labs, I've already uploaded instructions. Now, a couple important things about these labs is notice how the introduction to graphing and the lab uncertainty didn't show up in Blackboard when you looked at it right away. That's because I'm going to set all these labs to be hidden from you until you complete the safety training. You have to do the safety training. Specifically, before those labs in the lab folder will become visible, let's back up. You're going to go to labs. You're going to go to lab safety. Once you complete the lab safety, all the other labs will magically appear in this labs folder. You've got a couple things to do for this lab safety. First, you have to watch this ACF safety video. Make sure your pop-up blocker's off because this is going to pop up to YouTube. Then you have the ACS safety quiz that you have to take. Couple things about this quiz because it's a little bit of an unusual format, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. This uses a little program called SoftChalk. Couple important things to notice about it is, first of all, there are some hidden questions. See this thing right here where it says quiz me? Make sure you click the quiz me. Whoops. Where's the second quiz me? There should be a second quiz me. Oh, both are showing today. Okay, I take that back. Make sure when you take this safety quiz that you're seeing some multiple choice questions and that you're also seeing some true and false questions. If you're not seeing them, you're missing some of the questions. So make sure you're seeing multiple choice and true and false. All these questions will be based on the video. The important thing about these guys is once you answer all the questions of your multiple choice, once you answer all your multiple choice questions, make sure you click check answers. Next, you're going to answer all your true and false questions. Once you answer all those true and false questions, make sure, guess what? You click check answers. Ooh, I got one right. Then after you've checked the answers for both groupings, make sure you click finish. If you don't click check answer and you don't click finish, you won't get a grade. Worse yet, the computer will read you as having opened it and you'll actually wind up with a grade of 0. So make sure you click check answers and make sure you click finish. Then after you watch this video, you need to sign a safety waiver and you have to submit the safety waiver. So what you're going to do is you're going to click the safety waiver and that's going to download a Word document. You need to write in your name, or for each one of those blanks there, you need to sign, print it, and date it. You can submit it one of two ways, and I'll show you. You can either submit it as a JPEG. JPEGs are great. You can take it, you can sign it, take a picture with a cell phone camera, or the other alternative is you can save it, sign it, scan it with a scanner. Nearly everybody has a scanner. If you've got a printer at home, most of them come with scanners. Scan it in and save it as a PDF, which would actually be my preferred way, but you've got to do that. Then once you've done that, how do you get it back to me? Do not email it to me. If you email it to me, I won't take it. What you have to do is see where it says safety waiver. See that word right there? Click the word safety waiver, and it gives you assignment information, and it says assignment submission. Browse your computer, upload either your JPEG or your PDF, and hit submit. That's how you submit your safety waiver. That's also how you're going to wind up submitting your lab reports. So then you've submitted your safety waiver. After you've submitted your safety waiver, go to lab safety instructions. This is going to be in the form of a PDF. All your lab instructions will be in PDFs like this one. It is your responsibility and your responsibility alone to read these PDFs in great detail. Because we're using a lab designed by a contractor, unlike lecture where you can't shut me up and you have to listen to my lectures, I'm not going to give you a pre-lab lecture. I'm not going to give you a lab walkthrough. It is your responsibility to read these PDFs and watch the videos associated with these PDFs. And why is this taking forever to download? Here we go. It is your responsibility to read these and to read these carefully. You're going to take a quiz after reading them that is based solely upon them. Another thing that's important to note is lots of your lab instructions contain videos. Whenever you see this symbol in a lab report, there is a video. You need to watch the video. If for some reason you can't get that hot link to work, there is a URL to watch the video in. You can get it through the symbol, the blue lettering, or the URL. Either way, watch any and all videos that you come across. This one actually has multiple videos. After you watch all the videos and have read this carefully, take the safety quiz. You cannot unlock the other labs in this class, won't unlock for you unless you score perfect on this second safety quiz. If you don't score perfect on the second safety quiz, the labs don't unlock. You're saying that's a lot of pressure. I have it set to unlimited attempts. So if you fail it the first time, retake it. You got to keep retaking it until you get perfect. Otherwise, you won't be able to take any of the other labs for the rest of the semester. My advice to you is to read those lab instructions carefully, perhaps even print them out and have them handy while you take Safety Quiz 2, because Safety Quiz 2 is based solely on these lab instructions. So once you've done all that, then ta-da! The lab instructions for all the other labs will pop up for you. Quick note, as of this moment where I'm giving you this lecture, I've only set up Introduction to Graphing. I hope to have Measurement on Uncertainty set up by the rest of the day. End of the day, I will beat your schedule, as in I will have Exploring Density ready by the 19th and Fundamentals of Chromatography ready by the 20th for you. Hopefully I'm going to have everything done by the end of the week here. But be forewarned that there may be a slight delay in getting these things up. But let's go to the Introduction to Graphing lab to see what you're going to be doing for most of your labs, not turn safety. First, all your labs are going to have instructions. Click those instructions. There'll be a PDF with a video, just like we saw. And I'm assuming they're hanging up. They don't normally hang up on me. There it goes. Once again, read everything carefully. You and you alone are responsible for your safety in this lab. So you're going to read those instructions. You're going to follow the instructions. Whoops, come on. where did it go? You're going to follow the instructions. After a pre-lab portion, you're actually going to get to activities. And your lab manual is really nice at the beginning, before you even take the pre-lab. They list the different parts of the lab and some time estimates, right? Activity 1, graphing by hand is 20 minutes. Activity 2, computer graphing. 3, linear regression, 20 minutes. I would point out that if you hadn't figured it out, if you're a KCTCS student, and you are because you're taking this class, you have access to Microsoft Office for free, even if it's only online. So everybody has access to Excel in this class. You're going to go through and you're going to do these activities. How are you going to turn in your labs? Good question. You're going to turn in your labs a couple different ways. First, oh, as a matter of fact, just a second. Let me turn on student preview so you don't see that I have an answer key posted. Oh, wonderful. All right, that didn't work. I feel like Bill Gates when he launched the Xbox iTool for the first time, and it wouldn't recognize him. Okay. After you do the introduction to graphing, after you read through that PDF, take the pre-lab quiz. You're going to have a pre-lab quiz. Then you have a lab report turn-in. To turn in your lab report, you need to submit it via the template. So for all your labs, you're going to see something that's going to say blank lab turn-in with a blue symbol here and a doc. So you're going to click that to download your submission template, your lab report template. So you're downloading it to your computer. All right, you're downloading it to your computer, and you get a file that you're going to fill in the blank, right? Guess what you're going to put where it says student name? You're going to put your name, right? Put the date you're doing it. Then a lot of the time you're going to be submitting photos. Photos are a way of us documenting that you've actually done what you said you've done. Everybody should have a cell phone, or if you don't have a cell phone personally, you got a friend who does. So you can take photos really easily of your lab work. Take those photos, paste them into Word. And I am going to be a jerk about this. Your lab reports have to be submitted using this template. The photos have to be posted into this Word document. And it'll even tell you what you're supposed to show in this. So see, insert your photo of your hand-drawn graph here. Insert a photo of your hand-drawn graph here. Then for the second part of this graphing lab, they don't want photos. They just want some equations, right? So you're going to type your equations in there. If you don't follow this format and follow this template, I'm going to kick it back to you and refuse to grade it, meaning you'll get a 0 until you resubmit it. So be aware, I'm going to be a jerk. You've got to follow this template. They'll have some questions based on the correct trend lines, for example, which wheat plant grew the fastest. Table editing. Come on. Sent me all the way back to the beginning when I did that. You're going to type in your answers here. So type your answers there. And by the way, despite the fact how long I'm running on in this welcome lecture with my talking, when it comes to writing, chemists are a big fan of brevity. The writers, the numbers speak for themselves. You only need to write enough to answer the question. I'm not going to give you a good grade because you wrote 3 paragraphs when 1 sentence will do. Right? Now, I do want complete sentences. One way to get in trouble with me is to say yes or no to things. I do want a complete sentence. Sometimes 2 or 3 is necessary. But you shouldn't be killing half a page with any of these answers. You're dealing with numbers and you're dealing with chemistry. Sometimes 2 to 3 sentences interpreting your numbers is more than enough. Once you've filled out this report template, you have to save it to your computer. I hope I'm being really clear there. You have to save it to your computer. Once you've saved it to your computer, you can come over here, back to Blackboard, and the exact place you downloaded it from, click that word where it says Graphing Lab Report Turn-In. Click that button, and it takes you to the assignment information. Browse your computer, find out where that is, wherever you saved your folder, upload it, and click Submit. And that will upload the Word document for me. That's how you're going to do your labs. And I'm going to be real jerks about you following that lab report template. Heads up. I may, upon occasion, help post some, I may try to be helpful by posting a few extra videos for the graphing lab. If you're unfamiliar with using the graphing function of Excel, I did provide a YouTube link that walks you through how to do it, although you have written instructions there to be able to follow those. The important thing here is lab safety. You're responsible for your own lab safety. You need to be wearing those safety goggles. You need to be wearing your chemical lab apron. You need to be following those safety rules given to you in the guidelines. Let's move on to other things. Grading criteria. Not getting fancy here. A is 100 to 90, B 89 to 80, C 79 to 70. That being said, this is one of those courses where you do the work or you don't. You read carefully or you don't. If you read your PDFs carefully, if you do the lab work that's expected of you, this course should be an A or a B for you. I am under the assumption no one is going to get a C as long as they take their time, they're careful, and they're safe. If you are unsafe, I will fail you in this course. For example, if there's something in one of the pictures where you're not wearing a pair of goggles or a lab apron, I will fail you. But you are responsible for your own lab safety. If you see children in the background of any of your photos while you're doing these labs, I will fail you in the course. You're responsible for your own lab safety. Around you. I don't accept late work after a certain point. As I said, I give you a big lead in. I understand it may take for those lab kits to get to you. Totally deny you the ability to turn something in because it's one day after the emergency date. I'm going to assess a penalty, but I'm not going to coach you off the island. The only thing to that is the date here, and I didn't list it right now. The last day of class. Whatever date I put in the syllabus is not accepting any late work. I am telling you the truth about that. If I say no work accepted after July 21st or no work accepted after July 27th or no late work or no work accepted after December 10th, I will stick by that. The reason is that date where I won't accept any work after is the date I need to have the work in so that I can get my work in on time without getting in trouble, right? So after that date is passed, I am grading and I am submitting your work usually within 24 to 48 hours. So my ability to take lab work after that date of the course is gone, right? It's beyond my control. So be aware that I am a monster there. I need to modify this. This was written for a face-to-face, so the syllabus you'll be looking at will be a little bit different. Withdrawal policy, make sure you contact me in plenty of time to withdraw. 24 hours is not enough time to withdraw. First of all, every single college out there has a different withdrawal date, right? The withdrawal date at Bluegrass is different from the withdrawal date at ECTC. So waiting till the day before the last day of class, even though ECTC may say you can withdraw then, it may be too late for Bluegrass or vice versa. So make sure you contact me well before, a week before the end of class. Also, different colleges have different withdrawal procedures. Some colleges, it's really easy. You email me, I email you back, you forward the email to your records office, you're done. Other colleges, you need to sacrifice an animal under the pale moonlight while singing a special song and dance, and then get permission from myself, the president, and the Grand Vizier of Uranus before you can withdraw, right? So be aware that withdrawal is not instant. Also, let me also make you painfully aware, I do not have the power to withdraw you. Only you have the power to withdraw you and pass that paperwork. Email me and say, I want to withdraw. I email you back and I say, okay. You then have to do something with that email that's going to be different at every college, right? I can't click any button and make your withdrawal happen, right? So just emailing me to withdraw doesn't make it happen. And then here's the legal stuff, link to all the legal stuff. I think that just about covers it. I am here to help you. I am very anxious and excited to help you. Let me know if you've got questions, problems, I can do to you. Use that question help message, contact me. I look forward to working with you. And that's all I got, with the sole exception of, why don't you down red magic marker. Write down red